Megasaurus 55 has a best lap time of 2:24.133. Armand Sunoiler has a best lap time of 2:24.166. Mate, these drivers are really Euro T, just burning rubber for the fun of it. They're chasing the ghost, that perfect lap that's always just out of reach.
Absolutely. Back in my racing days, I used to call it chasing the dragon. It's that feeling when you know there's still a little more in the tank, a fraction of a second to be found.
It's all about finding that sweet spot during these sessions. Like tuning a didgeridoo, but way faster.
Haha, and a lot noisier. But you're right, in Indy, we fine-tune until it feels just right. Every lap here is a step towards perfection.
With just 274 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Richard Rossier posted 2:24.557 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Armand Sunoiler has a best lap time of 2:24.166. Richard Rossier has a best lap time of 2:24.557. Megasaurus 55 posted a 2:24.173 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Armand Sunoiler posted 2:37.650 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 271 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Richard Rossier has a best lap time of 2:24.557. Hey Hal, you reckon these drivers ever get tired of going round and round during practice?
Well, Rob, repetition is the key. Every lap gives you data, insights, and an edge over the competition.
Now, here's a term some might not be familiar with: roll bar stiffness. Sounds technical, doesn't it?
It does, but in essence, it's about how the car reacts to lateral forces, especially during cornering. Adjusting the roll bar can change how the car behaves mid-corner. A softer setting can be more forgiving, but a stiffer one might give the driver a quicker response, albeit with less margin for error.
Hippie posted a 2:29.970 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Megasaurus 55 has a best lap time of 2:23.021. Richard Rossier posted 2:25.132 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 268 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. It's a lovely day for racing here at LuccaRing as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Mr. Bang is on their practice out lap. Jack M Team posted a 12:18.299 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? It's a lovely day for racing here at LuccaRing as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Oi, these practices Arena Euro T just a walkabout in the park. It's here that races are often won or lost.
Absolutely. Back home in North Carolina, we emphasize the setup. A few tweaks during practice can lead to major gains on race day.
It's a bit like looking for water in the outback. These drivers are searching for that sweet rhythm, where everything just clicks.
Spot on. It's that elusive flow state. When everything syncs up a euro, the car, the track, the driver a euro, that's when magic happens.
Richard Rossier has a best lap time of 2:24.557. Eddie G has a best lap time of 2:27.591. With just 263 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Get ready for some high-octane action as the drivers take on the challenge of qualifying at LuccaRing. Armin Suneuler is on their outlap. It's a dominant performance from Robin Overbeck in this qualification session. They have shown exceptional form and are leading the way. Their confidence is shining through, and they are proving why they are considered one of the best in the business.
Absolutely, Robin Overbeck is setting an impressive pace and demonstrating their dominance on the track. Their competitors have a challenging task ahead to match their performance.
Impressive work from Hippie, who has claimed 8th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position. A strong showing from Armin Suneuler as they currently sit in 9th. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
Absolutely, Armin Suneuler has put in a remarkable effort to secure 9th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
A solid qualifying performance by Eddie G, positioning them in 6th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners. Currently in 7th, Armin Suneuler has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. Megasaurus 55 has completed their outlap. There are just over 15 minutes left in this qualification session. Robin Overbeck has completed their outlap. It's an impressive showing by Jack M team, currently in 5th. Jack M team has completed their outlap. Incredible drive by Mr. Bang has completed their outlap. What a fantastic showing from Robin Overbeck in qualifying. They currently hold the top spot and are in prime position for a strong starting position. Their lap times have been exceptional, and they have showcased their talent and determination.
You're spot on, Rob. Robin Overbeck is showcasing exceptional skill and consistency in this qualifying session. It's a formidable position they hold, and their rivals will need to step up their game to challenge them.
Impressive display by Jack M team, currently sitting in position 3. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position. What a sublime effort by Robin Overbeck in qualifying. They have taken charge of the session, holding the top position with authority. Their consistency and skill have been unmatched so far, and they are positioning themselves for a favorable starting position. Robin Overbeck has just completed that lap in 2:22.555. Their best lap so far is 2:22.555, putting them in P1. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? And there goes Mr. Bang, currently in position 8. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result.
Absolutely, Rob. Mr. Bang has shown great.
Mr. Bang has completed their first flying lap in 2:32.549. Eric Wolfs has positioned themselves well in 7th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. Eric Wolfs has just completed a lap in 2:28.327. Let's see if they can improve on their time further. Disappointing performance from Malte Scharf in this qualifying session. Currently in 11th position, they'll need to dig deep and find some extra speed to climb up the leaderboard and secure a better starting. Malte Scharf has completed their outlap. Megasaurus 55 has secured a respectable 9th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance?
Couldn't agree more, Rob. Megasaurus 55 has positioned themselves impressively in 9th. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
Megasaurus 55 has just completed that lap in 2:22.816. Their best lap so far is 2:22.816. Putting them in P2. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Roll Postma will be happy having put themselves into 4th in this qualifying session. What a performance from Mr. Bang. They currently occupy 9th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favourable starting spot?
Great analysis, Rob. Mr. Bang has shown excellent pace to secure 9th.
Mr. Bang has some work to do, as that 2:31.283 is only good enough for 9th.
That's not a bad time, but I am sure they can improve further on that.
Impressive work from Eddie G, who has claimed 10th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position. Eddie G has completed their first flying lap in 2:29.099. A solid performance from Megasaurus 55 as they currently hold position 2. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want. Megasaurus 55 will be happy having put themselves into 1st in this qualifying session. Currently in 5th, Roll Postma has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. A solid qualifying performance by Robin Overbeck, positioning them in 2nd at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners. Robin Overbeck will be happy having put themselves into 1st in this qualifying session. Incredible drive by Malte Scharf so far, earning them 3rd on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up? Malte Scharf will be happy having put themselves into 1st in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
It's an impressive showing by Eddie G. Eddie G has some work to do, as that 2:28.174 is only good enough for 9th. And there goes Megasaurus 55. Megasaurus 55 will be happy having put themselves into 2nd in this qualifying session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Roll Postma will be happy having put themselves into 5th in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
Impressive display by Eric Wolfs, currently sitting in position 10. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position. Eric Wolfs has some work to do as the 226.653 is only good enough for 8th.
There's still more time to be had, but I don't know if they are going to find it before the session is over.
Megasaurus 55 has put in a great effort and currently holds 2nd. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position?
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Megasaurus 55 has done a fantastic...
Megasaurus 55 will be happy having put themselves into 2nd in this qualifying session. What a performance from Eric Wolfs. They currently occupy 8th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favorable starting spot?
I completely agree, Rob. Eric Wolfs has positioned themselves impressively in 8th. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
It hasn't been the best qualifying session for Mr. Bang so far. They find themselves in 11th position, which is not where they had hoped to be. However, there's still time left on the clock, and they have the opportunity to make improvements.
You're absolutely right, Rob. Mr. Bang might be disappointed with their current position, but there's still time to make a difference. They'll need to remain composed, analyze the data, and push themselves to the limit to improve their qualifying result.
Eric Wolfs has positioned themselves well in 8th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. Eric Wolfs has some work to do as that 226.489 is only good enough for 8th.
That's not a bad time, but I am sure they can improve further on that.
A solid performance from Megasaurus 55 as they currently hold position 2. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid. Megasaurus 55 will be happy having put themselves into 1st in this qualifying session. Not the ideal start for Mr. Bang in this qualifying session. Currently in 11th position, they'll be eager to put together a strong final lap to improve their standing. The pressure is on, and they'll need to deliver their best performance.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Mr. Bang is facing a tough challenge, but they are known for their fighting spirit. This qualifying session is a test of their character, and I believe they have what it takes to overcome this setback.
Mr. Bang has some work to do as that 227.945 is only good enough for 10th.
There's still more time to be had, but I don't know if they are going to find it before the session is over.
A solid qualifying performance by Richard Rossier, positioning them in 6th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners.
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Richard Rossier's current position of 6th is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
A disappointing performance from Eddie G so far in this qualifying session. Finding themselves in 11th position is certainly not what they were aiming for. However, they have the talent and experience to bounce back and salvage a better result. Impressive work from Robin Overbeck, who has claimed 3rd on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
Absolutely, Rob. Robin Overbeck has put in a remarkable effort to secure 3rd. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
Robin Overbeck will be happy having put themselves into 3rd in this qualifying session. Robin Overbeck has secured a respectable 3rd in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance?
Absolutely, Rob. Robin Overbeck has shown great potential to secure 3rd. It's now a matter of channeling that momentum into a strong performance during the race.
There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at LuccaRing as we're getting ready to get things underway.
The drivers are looking focused out there on the grid. I'm excited for this one, Rob.
Megasaurus 55 will be feeling confident starting from pole position. Starting just behind the front runners in second place is the determined driver, Malta Schaaf. Robin Overbeck is lining up third. Armin Sunoiler will begin the race from the fourth spot on the starting grid. As the drivers prepare to take off, Roel Postma sits in fifth place on the starting grid. In the middle of the pack, we have Richard Rossier starting from the sixth position on the grid. Jack M team will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from seventh on the grid. As the engines roar to life, Eric Wolfs prepares to take off from the 8th position on the starting grid.
Jack M team isn't going to make it easy to get through the pack.
Starting from 9th on the grid is a good position for Hippie to launch an attack. The 10th starting position belongs to Eddie G, who will be looking to make up ground early on.
It's the Hards tire compounds for Eddie G.
Starting from 11th on the grid is a decent position for Mr. Bang, all things considered. With a spirited start, we've embarked on a journey. This initial lap requires equal parts guts and genius, lest they face the dire consequences of hubris.
Maintaining a safe distance while still pushing for position is a delicate balance. Experience and composure will be vital in these opening moments.
I can't wait to see how this race will play out.
I am so excited at the prospects for this race. I can't wait to see the drama unfold.
So Roel Postma's decided to play it cool, eh? Holding on to 5 like a croc with a juicy steak. Just sizing up the competition, I reckon.
There are a few drivers with a point to prove, and a few with some grudges to bear. Will we see a clean race today?
The racing is normally closely fought here at LuccaRing. I think we are in for a cracking race. These early salvos will shape the outcome of this race.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how this race unfolds.
The tension is palpable here. No one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap.
The first lap can always be a bit of a bun fight as everyone tries to establish themselves. It's easy for inexperienced racers to blow it in T1.
Blimey, Eric, Wolfs is gunning it in 6th. Just a whisker behind Hippie. Hope he's got his budgie smugglers on, cause things are about to get wet and wild.
The gap is 0.6 seconds now. Eric, Wolfs is going to have to work a bit harder to close it.
Wait, things don't look to be going Mr. Bang's way, as already they are into the pits. Blimey, Mr. Bang is so far back, they might as well stop for a beer at the pub. If they spot my ex there, tell them to drive faster. I've seen kangaroos jump less than the sparks between Eric, Wolfs and Hippie. It's almost like a Saturday night date, but with a lot more rubber burning. The gap between Robin Overbeck and Roel Postma is growing. It's now up to 0.3 seconds. This chase is as intense as a cricket match during the Ashes.
Cricket? I thought that was just a noisy bug. But
oh no, what's this? Whoops, Mr. Bang's taken more spins than a dead or alive record.
well, slap my grandma. Mr. Bang's gone off like they saw a ghost. Or maybe they just saw their last lap time.
Robin Overbeck could be looking for a way up the inside of Roel Postma.
If you're enjoying the racing, please remember to like and subscribe.
Wow, Eric, Wolfs is really pushing hard to catch up to Mr. Bang. There's blood in the water for 8th place. It's a close race between Robin Overbeck and Roel Postma in 2nd. It's a solid performance from Robin Overbeck at the moment. They're holding their position and not getting too caught up in battles around them. Let's talk about tyre degradation. How does it affect the car's handling, and what do drivers need to do to adapt to the changing conditions?
Tire degradation can significantly impact handling, Rob. As the tires wear, the grip reduces, and drivers need to adjust their braking points, cornering speeds, and throttle application to maintain control of the car.
It's like watching a cheetah chase its prey. Robin Overbeck's got Roel Postma in their crosshairs.
With a gap tighter than a new pair of jeans, Robin Overbeck's pushing that Abarth 500 Assetto Corsa to its limits. He's got that racer's instinct, looking for that sweet spot to pounce on Roel Postma.
The tension is building as Eddie G trails behind Hippie. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Hippie hold on, or will Eddie G be able to close them down?
Well, slap my grandma and call me Sally. Eddie's got more distance to cover than my cousin Cletus has teeth. But if anyone can bridge that gap, it's Eddie G.
This race has turned into a game of cat and mouse. Malta Scharf is the predator, with Eddie G firmly in their sights. Bloody oath, Malta Scharf is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to Eddie G down to a scant 0.3 seconds.
Now, ain't that something? Malta Scharf is right on it. Just needs to keep the pedal to the metal to tailgate Eddie G.
Fantastic move from Malta Scharf, who has just gained a position. Braking alert, Struth. Armin Sun Oilers having a real dog's breakfast of a moment. This is edge of the seat stuff. Eddie G is relentlessly hunting down Malta Scharf. Who'll blink first? This is what it's all about, folks. Malte Scharf is in hot pursuit of Hippie, who's just trying to stay ahead.
You know, Rob, I wouldn't put it past Malte Scharf to pull a rabbit out of the hat in this duel. Keep those eyes peeled.
Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Malte Scharf's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Hippie. Ladies and gents, we've got ourselves a high-speed pursuit. Richard Rossier is stalking Eric Wolf's every move.
They say pressure makes diamonds. Well, Richard Rossier is shining bright, closing in with every heartbeat.
Richard Rossier has just put in a faster lap than Eric Wolf, so that's going to give them something to worry about. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
Malte Scharf is so close to Hippie that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
Mate, I've heard the drivers talking about their car setups. It sounds more complicated than assembling an IKEA bookshelf.
You're not wrong. Back home, we just say it's like trying to line dance on a slippery floor. It takes a lot of tweaks and twists to get it right.
Oh, the chase is on. Richard Rossier's breathing down the neck of Eric Wolf's. Remember when we thought Richard Rossier had peaked? Think again. They're harnessing every bit of downforce and it's making Eric Wolf's mirrors awfully busy. Every move counts now as Malte Scharf works to reel in Hippie and overtake for P5.
Who will be able to maintain their pace and come out on top?
Someone should tell Hippie this ain't a Sunday drive. Malte Scharf's tearing up the track. Breaking news, folks. Oi. Hippie tried to pull a Steve Irwin and wrestle with the track limits. Track 1, Hippie 0.
By the looks of it, Hippie's been taking driving tips from them Duke boys. Ain't the Dukes of Hazzard, friend.
We got a close battle as Eddie G closes in on Eric Wolf's.
One wrong move and we could see a spectacular new synchronized pirouette performance by Eddie G and Eric Wolf's, though I doubt the judges would give them a perfect score.
A strategic misstep perhaps? Eddie's place has shifted to 8th. The plot thickens.
Racing's an art and sometimes the canvas changes mid-stroke. Eddie's shift will add to the intrigue of today's story.
Well, Eddie G, if you're looking for a way past, you'll need a please and thank you and a slab of beer for Richard Rossier. It's happy hour, and they're not giving an inch.
Now, if you notice, Richard Rossier is shifting that weight balance just right, cutting off the corners, making it a tight squeeze for Eddie G.
A commanding performance from Richard Rossier, who has increased their lead over Eddie G, putting them firmly in their rear-view mirrors.
Well, butter my biscuit, Richard Rossier is holding the reins tight, ain't giving Eddie G a chance to get ahead.
Cricky. Eddie's sticking to Richard Rossier like Vegemite on toast. This is more tense than a possum in headlights. Hang on to your cork hats, mates. We're about to see more jousting than a footy final between Eddie G and Richard Rossier. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Richard Rossier is breathing down the neck of Eric Wolf's, not giving them any room to relax.
Should things go awry, Richard Rossier and Eric Wolf's might find themselves giving a whole new meaning to the term tandem drifting, though I doubt they'd enjoy it as much as the spectators.
And Richard Rossier has just won the place from Eric Wolf's.
This race is heating up faster than a Barbie in summer. Richard Rossier's got that winning glint.
Things are heating up as Eric Wolfs tries to close the gap to Richard Rossier. It seems like Eric Wolfs is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can Eric Wolfs refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they are capable of?
Look at Robin Overbeck trying to close the gap on roll postma. Kind of like me trying to get close to a decent Barbie back home.
Barbie? Oh, you mean a barbecue. Yeah, but over here it's like trying to catch the last slice of pizza at a Super Bowl party.
The horizon that roll postma peers towards is as enigmatic as the Uluru at dusk. Layers of stories and strategies are yet to unfold.
And over here, it feels like trying to read a story with half the pages missing a euro. But stories have a way of coming full circle. Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Roel Postma is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
The battle for 7 is heating up as Eric Wolfs tries to catch Eddie G in P7. Looks like Eric Wolfs remembered to twist that anti-roll bar, giving them better cornering. If they get any closer to Eddie G, they'll be seeing what they had for brekkie. By the looks of it, Eddie G is making sure Eric Wolfs gets a full view of those rear lights. It's like a prolonged "G'day" without the handshake.
Just like in the old school days of racing, it's not just about speed, it's about the strategy, the mind games. Eddie's got that game face on.
Eddie G is off like a bride's nightie, leaving Eric Wolfs huffing their exhaust fumes.
Yep, Rob, Eddie G is tearing up the tarmac, but can Eric Wolfs dig deep and go hell for leather to catch up? You ain't whistling Dixie, Rob. Eddie's putting on a show that's sure to keep the crowd on the edge of their seats.
In a race where seconds count, Eric Wolfs is counting on less of them between themselves and Eddie G. Much like I'm counting on less seconds until lunchtime.
You know, Eric Wolfs reminds me of my dog chasing its tail, persistent and entertaining. But I hope for them, there's a better end result in sight.
Fair dinkum. Eric Wolfs is finding those aerodynamic sweet spots. Could be adjusting that front wing angle to cut through the air like a hot knife through butter.
He's waiting on that golden chance like a hound on a pork chop.
You can feel the tension in the air.
The drivers are all focused, putting everything on the line for a chance at victory, pushing themselves and their machines to the limit.
And let's not forget about the incredible machines themselves.
Absolutely. It's amazing to think about the kind of engineering and innovation that goes into making these vehicles. But it all comes down to the drivers, who have to be able to handle the power and speed. It's going to be thrilling seeing how this race turns out.
If I had $1 for every time Eric Wolfs closed a gap like this, I'd have enough for a pint at the local. Get ready, Eddie G, the thunder from down under is coming. Gee whiz, Eric Wolfs is getting some solid torque out of those corners. They must have figured out the perfect throttle control while trail braking.
Holy smokes, Eric Wolfs is extracting every ounce of horsepower from that power unit. They're tailing Eddie G tighter than a belt after Thanksgiving dinner.
Looks like we've had a few incidents out there.
Someone forgot to take their driving lessons. They're making more U-turns than a confused tourist.
Hilarious. I think they might need to call their GPS for directions. Maybe it can help them navigate the track. Hold on to your stubbies. Malta Schaaf is closing in on Jack M Team like a bachelor at the end of a Bucks night. Hope Jack M Team either brought some lube or protection. A great moment for Malta Schaaf, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
Well, slap my knee and call it a jamboree. Malta Sharf's putting on a masterclass, storming into fourth.
Eric Wolfs is giving it their all as they chase down Eddie G in P7.
Well, butter my biscuit. With a gap just shy of a second, Eric Wolfs' car is dialed in. He's looking to reel Eddie G in on the straights of LuccaRing.
The crowd is on tender hooks as Jack M team in 5th chases after Malta Sharf. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Jack M team find a way to catch up?
I agree, Jack M team is putting in the effort. Sort of like me at karaoke night. Not sure about the results, but full points for enthusiasm.
Blimey, Roll Postma's more eager to catch Robin Overbeck than a bloke at the bar at last call. Hope he's got the stamina for this chase.
In the theater of speed, this is the climax. Every move is a headline, every overtake a potential plot twist.
Eric Wolfs is on a mission, chasing Eddie G, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Eric Wolfs should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Eddie G.
Eric Wolfs is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace.
Can Eric Wolfs keep it together?
During your racing career, Hal, did you have any specific techniques to regain concentration if you felt it slipping?
Yes, Rob, I had a few techniques. One was to take a couple of deep breaths and briefly reset my focus. Another was to use a specific keyword or phrase as a mental trigger to refocus my mind on the task at hand.
The pursuit is on. Robin Overbeck is closing the gap on Roll Postma, determined to claim P2.
The mental game is just as important here. Robin Overbeck must keep their cool while putting pressure on Roel Postma.
Oh, this is getting intense. Armin Sunoiler is just behind Mr. Bang.
Honestly, Rob, with this chase, I'm half expecting to see some sneaky dive bombs in the next few laps. Popcorn ready?
Talk about being caught in the middle. Armin Sunoiler is sandwiched between their rivals, Simon B 0.1 seconds behind and Mr. Bang 0.2 seconds ahead. The battle for position is on. I've been going over some historical stats, and the lap records at LuccaRing have been shattered so many times.
It's a testament to the ever-evolving world of motorsport. What was once considered fast becomes the norm, and drivers and engineers are always pushing the envelope.
Hold on to your seats. Eric Wolfs is turning the heat up on Eddie G, closing in for the kill. Looks like Richard Rossier is trying to chase down Jack M team, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at dieting. A lot of hard work with slow results. Truth, Richard Rossier is not here to muck about. The gap to Jack M team is dropping faster than a hot pie at the footy, now at 1.4 seconds. The pressure is on for Eric Wolfs as they try to catch up to Eddie G.
Woo-wee, there's more tension between Eric Wolfs and Eddie G than there is at a shotgun wedding. Pass the popcorn and let's see where this love story goes.
On the final lap now, and Megasaurus 55 looks like they might just wrap up this win.
They're not leaving anything on the table.
And that, folks, is how it's done. A solid performance and great win from Megasaurus 55. Roll Postma never gave up. They drove with heart and determination, ultimately securing a well-deserved second-place finish. What a race from Robin Overbeck, showing their skill and determination for a great third-place finish.
Impressive driving to secure that spot.
Taking fourth is Malta Scharf. Fifth is Jack M Team. Finishing sixth is Richard Rossier. Eddie G takes seventh. Eric Wolfs end in eighth. Hippie in ninth. Mr. Bang brings home 10th. You've joined us on a breezy day here at LuccaRing as we're getting ready to kick things off. Starting from pole position is a dream come true for Eric Wolfs. Holding strong in second place is Eddie G. Richard Rossier lines up in third place as the engines rev and the race begins. And in fourth place, we have Jack M Team. Coming in at fifth, we have Malta Scharf.
Malta Scharf will be taking no prisoners today.
Robin Overbeck is 6th. On the 7th grid slot, we have Roll Postma. From the middle of the pack, we have Megasaurus 55 in 8th place on the starting grid. Starting from the 9th position, Armin Sunoiler will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win. Oi, lights are gone. Flat out like a lizard drinking, mate.
Lukey here, it's a true testament of a driver's grit. Gotta keep that car sticking like molasses in January. And if they ain't sharp, well, they might find themselves talking a little detour off the track.
This is going to be one hell of a race, I can already feel it. I think passing is going to be difficult today here at LuccaRing, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on.
All the drivers will be jostling for the best position, Rob. Some of them may not make it to the second lap in one piece.
There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is looking to get off to a good start. The drivers are jockeying for position. Megasaurus 55 will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position. Establishing an early advantage will be crucial to the outcome of this race.
Let's hope they all brought their A games today.
Now, isn't that a sight? Richard Rossier hanging tight at 3. Maybe they're waiting for everyone else to make their move. Smart as a whip, that one. You know, Hal, during a long race like this, how easy is it for a driver to experience a lapse in concentration?
It can be quite easy, Rob. With so many factors to consider and the intense focus required, even the most experienced drivers can have a momentary lapse. That's why mental training and staying in the zone are so important.
Gee whiz, Megasaurus 55 is breathing down Robin Overbeck's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Robin Overbeck's rearview mirror right now, it's getting crowded.
Hey Rob, ever seen a cat toy with a mouse? Kind of feels like what Megasaurus 55 is doing to Robin Overbeck right now, doesn't it?
I tell you what, Megasaurus 55 has got more problems than a maths book right now. Robin Overbeck is leaving them in a cloud of dust. The drivers are really pushing their limits out there on the track.
It's like they're trying to outrun the laws of physics. But we all know that's impossible, or is it? I mean, we're a couple of AI commenting on a race, anything can happen.
Ha ha, you have a point there. And speaking of pushing limits, these cars are breaking records left and right.
They're so fast, it's like they're breaking the sound barrier, or at least the speed limit.
I hope the police aren't watching. Every gear shift, every pedal push, Robin Overbeck's got one goal in mind, capturing Malta Schaaf's spot. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Malta Scharf is proper nipping at Jack M Team's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell.
It's going to be a close one. Malta Scharf will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
It's a battle of wills out there. Each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
And it's not just about skill and talent. It's about who has the nerves of steel to handle the pressure and make the right decisions at the right time.
Oh crikey, Hal, Megasaurus 55 just got outfoxed and Robin Overbeck's taken the chockies.
That's like swapping sweet tea for moonshine, a change nobody saw coming. That's some bad luck for Megasaurus 55, they just couldn't hold on. But can they make a comeback?
We've certainly seen some of the drivers get it wrong today.
Anyone lost can just follow the trail of skid marks. I hear it's the latest form of GPS navigation.
Let's hope the other drivers don't follow suit. We might end up with a bumper car race instead of a high-speed competition.
At least we'd have something to fall back on if we ever get bored of regular racing. Bumper cars might be the next big thing.
Good on ya, Roll Postma. Not letting Robin Overbeck get too comfy up front. Reckon he's planning a bit of a "g'day mate" on the next corner? The intensity is off the charts as Richard Rossier hounds Eddie G, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
I remember being in a similar situation during my racing days. Richard Rossier must stay focused and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake.
The action is non-stop as Jack M Team shadows Richard Rossier through every twist and turn, determined to claim second.
As a former driver, I can tell you there's nothing quite like the adrenaline rush when you're this close to your rival, ready to make your move.
It's an intense battle for position as Robin Overbeck tries to outmaneuver Jack M Team. This is edge of your seat racing. So, when you were racing, ever have to do the old nature call dash during a red flag?
Haha,
Breaking news folks. Malta Scharf went off track. I know the feeling, just like my diet every weekend. Robin Overbeck has the pedal to the metal chasing Richard Rossier. It's all eyes on this battle as Jack incident alert. Looks like Roll Postma is testing the off-road capabilities of their ride.
Yeehaw, Roel Postma decided to do a little off-roading. Wrong event, partner.
This is a disaster for Roll Postma in the Abarth 500 Assetto Corsa coming into the pits and isn't going to do much to improve their chances in this race.
That's not where they want to be right now.
Richard Rossier's got Robin Overbeck breathing down their neck so close, you'd think they're trying to steal their lunch money. Remember those school days, mate? Oh wait, I never had lunch money. Sorry to interrupt here, but looks like that's a mistake from Armin Sunoiler. This could be costly. Phew, talk about foreplay. Richard Rossier and Robin Overbeck are really teasing us here. I haven't seen this much anticipation since my first day. Mate, are they packing something extra down under? Richard Rossier's just rocketed into third. This isn't just racing, it's a duel. Watch as Robin Overbeck zeroes in on Eddie G, blade sharpened and ready. A great pass for Robin Overbeck as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Eddie G has lost ground.
Talk about turbocharged ambition. Robin Overbeck's got the afterburners on full blast today.
During your racing career, Hal, how did you determine when it was the right time to pit for fresh tyres due to tyre degradation?
It was a combination of factors, Rob. Monitoring lap times, communicating with the team about tire wear, and assessing the car's handling were all crucial in deciding when to make a pit stop for fresh tires.
The race is really heating up. Eddie G is hunting down Richard Rossier with everything they've got.
Dang, Eddie's chasing Richard Rosier like a Southern belle after a gentleman with a fat wallet. This is racier than a late-night movie marathon.
Boy, Eddie G. Wait. Oh dear, Richard Rosier has had an incident. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
If things go wrong between Jack M Team and Richard Rosier, they could be exchanging more than just paint, like maybe a strongly worded post-race chat.
Well, I'd raise a toast to that move. Breaking development. Whoa. Eddie G took that corner like my Uncle Baz after a six-pack of Euro, all over the shop.
LuccaRing is always a test for these drivers, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
Things are getting spicy as Richard Rosier is breathing down Malte Schaaf's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
What a move. Richard Rosier has moved up to 6th.
Impressive. Richard Rosier is really showing their skill and determination out there.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Armin Sunoiler trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Megasaurus 55. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Armin Sunoiler close in enough to mount a challenge? Armin Sunoiler's playing hard to get, eh? If they drop the pace anymore, they'll be in reverse. But crikey, Megasaurus 55's just raring to go.
Well, Armin Sunoiler's got their britches in a twist. Megasaurus 55 is riding the gravy train with biscuit wheels, I tell ya.
Watching Richard Rosier try to close that gap on Malte Schaaf is like watching someone try to catch an ice cream truck on foot. Hope they've got good shoes.
Lord have mercy. Richard Rosier's got more space between him and Malte Schaaf than my pa got between his ears. But miracles do happen. Just ask my ex-wife.
Richard Rosier is falling behind Malte Schaaf at a rate of knots. They're going to need some serious pedal power to close that gap. The adrenaline is pumping as Megasaurus 55 gets within striking distance of Armin Sunoiler in their race for second.
Rob, last time I saw Megasaurus 55 this riled up, there were sparks flying off the track. Get ready for a showdown.
As they speed through Baluardo San Pietro ITC, Malte Schaaf is relentlessly pursuing Jack M Team in a high-stakes battle for position. Whoa. Malte Schaaf's on fire, leaving skid marks and Jack M Team's hopes behind. It's hotter out there than an Aussie summer day, mate. Reckon Jack M Team can catch some shade behind Malte Schaaf?
Shade? Here, we call that drafting. Let's see if they can stay cool and make a move. If not, there's always the AC in the pit.
It's not going to plan for Jack M Team. They are still behind Malte Schaaf and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. Megasaurus 55 so far off pace, they might be better off in a hearse. At least then someone would be pushing from behind.
You ever been to a school reunion and thought, what happened to that guy? Well, I'm looking at Megasaurus 55, I'm thinking the same.
Mate, Megasaurus 55's creeping up on Armin Sunoiler like a dingo on a picnic. Must have tweaked that brake bias a touch to the rear.
This ain't Megasaurus 55's first rodeo. They're optimizing their racing line, reducing understeer. If Armin Sunoiler ain't nervous, they sure ought to be.
Remember when Eddie G was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night.
Sweet mercy, Eddie's lagging like my grandma's old computer. Might be time to reboot, or at least pour some coffee into the gas tank.
Eddie G and Eric Wolfs have a gap between them that's growing like Jack's beanstalk. We're talking 153.1 seconds now. Stone the Crows. Megasaurus 55's in third, but if I know them, Armin Sunoiler's gonna cop an Aussie-style sneak attack real soon. It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Megasaurus 55 and Armin Sunoiler. Look at the way the drivers are hugging those corners, it's like they're on rails.
Speaking of rails, did you know that the first racetrack was built on a railway in 1896? I bet those drivers were chugging along.
Haha, I bet they were. But things have come a long way since then, haven't they?
Definitely. It's amazing to think about the technology that goes into these cars now. I mean, they have more computing power than some countries.
Jack M team is running fifth. They are trying to catch Malta Shaft. Fair dinkum, Jack M team is getting a wriggle on. The gap to Malta Shaft is now down to a whisker at 0.7 seconds. This is where the race gets really interesting. Megasaurus 55 is closing in on Armin Sunoiler.
The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds. Who will have the speed and skill to come out on top?
It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Megasaurus 55 gaining places and Armin Sunoiler losing them.
If this were chess, I'd say Megasaurus 55 just put Armin Sunoiler in check. Brilliant move.
Blimey, Armin Sunoiler's determination reminds me of a kangaroo in a hopping contest.
Well, over here in the States, it's more like a squirrel chasing down its last nut before winter. Either way, it's entertaining to watch. The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds. Can Armin Sunoiler close that gap and get back in range? I can't see it happening at this point.
As vast as the azure stretches of the Great Barrier Reef, so does Eric Wolf's path ahead a Euro, filled with mystique and myriad challenges.
Kind of reminds me of fishing in the vast Carolina Blue Euro. A big catch might just be a castaway.
The gap between Eric Wolfs and Richard Rossier is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun. You know, back in Oz, we have a saying, flat out like a lizard drinking. That's exactly what Eric Wolfs is doing right now.
I've always wondered, what's that even mean? Lizards, drinks, racing. Y'all have a wild imagination down under.
This is a thrilling battle as Armin Sunoiler edges closer to Megasaurus 55 in their fight for P2.
Looks like Armin Sunoiler has got more moves than a cowboy in a honky-tonk bar. Megasaurus 55 better watch out or he'll be two-step right off the track.
It's the classic cat and mouse game, but instead of cheese, the prize is a racing position. Can Eddie G steal it from Eric Wolfs? The track tells a tale of speed, strategy, and skill. Today, it narrates Malta Shaft's journey in fourth. Eric Wolfs has duffed it up. They're gonna need more than a coldie to forget that one. It looks like Eric Wolfs is pushing hard to catch up to Richard Rossier. The gap is over a second, but Eric Wolfs is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Richard Rossier?
Y'all remember the tortoise and the hare? Well, Eric Wolfs is neither. More like a snail with commitment issues.
Looks like Armin Sunoiler's strategy might just be to let the rest of them die of old age. It's a waiting game now.
I've seen funeral processions move faster than Armin Sunoiler right now. Come to think of it, at least they've got a destination in mind.
You know, racing is all about strategy. It's like choosing between a sausage sizzle and a meat pie.
Sausage sizzle? Why not just grab a burger and call it a day? But I get your point, strategy is everything out here.
The rumble of the engine, the scent of the rubber, and Malte Schaaf comfortably sitting at third.
Couldn't agree more. Every lap is a story, and right now, Malte Schaaf's chapter from third is riveting.
Malte Schaaf is burning rubber like there's no tomorrow. Jack M team needs to show some ticker if they want to close the gap.
Well, Rob, as we say in North Carolina, the race ain't over till the checkered flag. Let's see if Jack M team has some tricks up their sleeve. It's really looking like Malte Schaaf is going to be tough to pass today. They're driving with real confidence and authority.
I've made some questionable life decisions, but trailing over 2 seconds behind? Even I'm not that self-sabotaging.
It's going to be tough for Richard Rosier, as Jack M team seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Richard Rosier pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
From the grandstands to the pit lane, all eyes are on the action. Amongst the frontrunners, Malte Schaaf is showing prowess in third. Malte Schaaf is hitting the apexes like a pro, increasing their lead over Jack M team. But can they keep it up without spinning out?
That's right, Rob, it's all fun and games until someone pops a tire. Let's hope both of them can keep it on the black stuff. Malte Schaaf's looking tougher to pass than a kidney stone, driving with the authority of a southern sheriff.
I tell you, mate, the tech in these cars would outshine any gizmo you'd find in a Sydney cafe.
As long as it doesn't make my morning coffee, I'm good. But yeah, the tech here is like something out of Silicon Valley.
Wow, Robin Overbeck is really pushing hard in these final moments of the race. The leader has done it. What an incredible performance from Robin Overbeck, who was simply untouchable today. This is a race that will go down in the history books. Some might say that second place is the first loser, but Megasaurus 55 certainly doesn't see it that way. They put in a phenomenal effort and should be proud of their impressive result.
Brilliant. Megasaurus 55 showed great skill and determination to take second place.
Impressive drive from Malte Schaaf to claim the final spot on the podium. With Jack M team, Richard Rosier, and Eddie G in 4th, 5th, and 8th. Followed by Eric Wolfs in 6th. Armin Sunoiler claimed 7th.